Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do something we haven't done in a while. We're just going to go ahead and do a quick pick-a-pile, okay? So I found these guys finally. I know I have a few others lying around somewhere. I don't know where they are, but basically this is a good opportunity to develop your intuition as well, okay? So I've already pre-pulled, blah, 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 3 piles for you guys. Not that you shouldn't be, already following your intuition with every reading you listen to, but basically for those that are new, especially if you're not totally certain how you can develop your intuition, just try a few things out, okay, to see what works for you, all right? What works for me is I'll tap into my heart space and I'll focus on the options ahead, okay? I'll stare at it really, really hard until I have a good visual of what I'm looking at. Now, sometimes the colors help, sometimes shapes help, sometimes letters help, so I have both here, just a little snippet, okay, to give you an idea. But it could be pretty much anything, and I'll focus on what I'm looking at, and then I'll close my eyes, and I'll do some breath work. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and then I'll visualize all 3 piles with whatever options, and then I'll narrow it down to just one if I can. Sometimes you'll have more than one battling it out. Pay attention to the order. That may be your higher self telling you which order you need to be listening to it in. It may make more sense for you as you listen to it. So you're welcome to pick more than one if you like, okay? Whichever call to you, all right? So go ahead and give you, 30 seconds to go ahead and do that right now. If you want, you can go ahead and pause the video and stare if you need a little extra time. Sometimes it does take some time to do that. And I will timestamp in the description box, okay? All right, if you've chosen pile A, tried to find a spot for that guy. All right, that's close enough, I guess. Just want you to be able to see it without too much glare. I'm going to go ahead and start with the past life oracle, okay? First one that came out is baby. Oh, you can actually see that okay with all that glare and it being holographic. So I took this as, okay, it could be an actual child or a new beginning, right? Next one that came out was Egypt. So this may actually be a connection to Egypt, perhaps for a learning, could be a past life thing too. Might be some sort of connection for you, okay? Or it could just indicate maybe traveling to an exotic location to learn something spiritual, right? And that was confirmed by leaving and travel, okay? Give me a second, I'm gonna fix the light. This is driving me nuts. All right, that's a little better. A little better. I'm a little worried about the ring light here, though, with that glare at the back there. I'm gonna see if I can turn that. That's not making it much better. All right, so I definitely thought that this was some sort of new journey, right? Like new aspect of journey for you. So take it how it resonates, okay? From the Stargazing Oracle, we pulled the Pink Moon, new and exciting opportunities, focus on the new, transcendence, maturity, fullness, fertility, which could also indicate the baby, right? For literal pregnancy type of thing. First steps onto a new path. And the next card is Leo, independent, confident, extroverted, ego, courageous, proud, playful, prowess, charismatic, expressive, and vital. So, as far as what needs to be healed in the shadows, it may be just overcoming a fear of the unknown, right? Or a fear of getting out there and doing something different, right? This is going to be something that's going to be hugely transformative, though. So whatever it is you're thinking of right now, maybe the thing you got to go for. And poor Pink Moon. Yeah, there you go. You can see the glare off that. All right. So from the Shapeshifters deck, you have a loyal guardian. Number 33. Threes are all about good news and being protected by the higher realms, right? A magical protector is there for you, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and read this for you. About a loyal guardian. This sweet fairy being holds within her arms a fierce, loyal, and very strong Rottweiler who will keep all predators and bullies at bay. He is unwaveringly devoted to protecting his fairy friend and to protecting you. The loyal guardian is so powerful that he is unable to be hurt, and he will stand guard and watch, growl at, fight, and even kill any who attempt to harm you at this stage. So you are safeguarded, right? This card is the sign of a fierce protective magic surrounding you, or another one with you who is fragile. Those who need protection are like newborns. And here you've got the baby, right? Okay, so this could be you being the protector for someone on a new journey, right? They may have been bullied or hurt, picked on, and teased to a point where they feel it is better to be ignored and left alone than to be noticed and hurt again and again. When this card makes its appearance, those with unjust desires or intentions towards you or a vulnerable person you know will be warned off before they have a chance to come too close. You are so very protected at this time. Have no fear. You will have with you, energetically at this time, a very protective guardian. There may be some new people or situations in your life, like say if you're traveling and going on a journey, right, that will make you feel threatened, uncertain, and uncomfortable. This wariness has been noted, and this shapeshifter in the form of a large, devoted, and very powerful companion will be at your side, sniffing out danger, sounding an alarm at any threat, even readying to fight for you, should it come to that. If there has been bullying or behavior that has intimidated you, you have someone on your side who will not let you down and who will not let you face this alone. So that could very well be your spirit guides right now, your higher self, any ascended masters that you look towards, okay? That could even be God, right? Just letting you know that you can go forward on whatever you're thinking of traveling to, whatever journey that you're going on at the moment, even if it's just existential, right? Okay, you have no fear. You might have a lot to learn along the way, especially when Egypt is a vast place, a vast, wasteland of desert, right? So it seems intimidating as a landscape in general, right? But it has amazing history, right? There's so much there, okay? And it could just be representative, too, of just that entire region, right? Just think of it, because it's all interconnected. So you're definitely going to be traveling in some aspect or another. It could very well be literal travel, too. And you will be protected as you go, okay? There you go. Have a good one. Bye. All right, if you've chosen pile B, let's see what you got. From the Past Life Oracle, we have Monk or Nun. We have Angels. And we have Ships. Okay. With these three together, I'm really sensing a spiritual journey, like maybe going within, because that's what monks and nuns do. They tend to go off to a monastery for a while to really tap in and connect with their angels and their guides and God, okay? So it could be any one of those types of things for you at the moment. But you could also be taking some sort of retreat or some kind of travel as well. I also kind of see the Ships card as traveling over your emotions, because water represents emotion, right? And usually you go on ships to go on huge oceans, not lakes necessarily. This is more of a clipper ship that's meant for long distance travel, right? So I'm definitely getting a sense here that there may be some of that going on for you right now, okay? From the Stargazing Oracle, gosh, goodness, mutable moon. Nothing is set in stone. Stay adaptable. Lacking staying power. I know you can barely see that. Something is changing, not final. Unstable situations and scattered energy. And that may be why you need to do it. Could also be a significant Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, or Pisces as well, okay? You have Black Moon Lilith. I'm going to hold this up a little bit. You have rebellion, seduction, an affair of the other woman or man, shame, envy, rejection, revenge, mystery, darkness, sexuality, and standing in your truth, okay? So maybe there was an energy that shook things up, right? And kind of jostled and got that energy to get scattered, and now it's time to kind of rebalance that out, okay? From the Shapeshifters Oracle, you have Little Wolf Girl, number 18. It's all right to be alone. This small girl who changes in the woods under the full moon into a creature wild and undomesticated remains gentle, soulful, and true to her essence. She wants you to know your solitude is your sanctuary. She wishes for you too to know you are changing and showing more of your true self. She wishes you to know that while these changes will be empowering, at first they make you vulnerable, fragile, and open, as she is if you gaze deeply into her eyes. You must wear a symbol of what you are becoming at this time, as she does, and take on that which you wish to change into. This will become your talisman, and it holds great magic within it. Choose this alone. So this may be an opportunity to really kind of pick something that means something to you. Sort of in the way that native shamans would go on their vision quests, right? And then, pick up objects from nature to put in their medicine bags, right? You almost have that same kind of thing across so many different spiritual cultures. And in her case, she's got a wolf's tooth, right? But it's almost in the shape of a crescent moon, right? So it could look like one thing and be another, right? So you don't necessarily have to have anything that's terribly specific, but just unique to you, right? And it's something that you deeply, deeply connect to, all right? The little wolf girl speaks. I am alone. This is a good thing. I am not sorry for my solitude. I will defy boundaries, expectations, and the labels others wish to place on me. From this moment, I stand alone. I am by myself. And that is all right. I am changing. By myself, I can change without influence. Perhaps you are changing too. You are like a tree or a snake, and you are shaking off the dusty, too tight skin of the past, of your exile from the world of nature, and most of all, of the words others have used to describe you. You are awakening from a prison of conditioning and thought, and freeing yourself for a future of true, authentic, powerful, blissful, and sometimes testing times and lives. You are changing. Your new sensitivity will help many people connect more deeply to the physical world, which is continually feeding you with imagery, energy, and messages. But before you can achieve great things, you must change, even if the only change is to choose the courage to be alone, right? Sometimes you do need to have that. It does take a lot of courage to make that travel, right? To retreat in a way, even if it's to regather your energy, especially after something just shook you up, right? You're kind of really vulnerable. You're like, oh, no, I don't want to go by myself. But that may be the best because your higher self knows you. It's your true authentic self, right? So it's time to reconnect with that so that anything outside of that, the external, doesn't tamper with it too much and keep you kind of vulnerable, right? Or keep you too afraid to take chances for yourself and have new beginnings, okay? Your changes are becoming conspicuous to others, so for now, be sure to keep the changes safe while you nurture them. Now is neither the right time to proclaim them loudly, nor is it the time to be mysterious. It is wise to allow them to simply happen. Some will notice and give their support. Others will notice and give their disapproval. You must learn to discern what advice is wise. Be not needful of approval and flattery or of condemnation against which to rebel. Just keep on being your true self and give yourself space and solitude. Allow the little wolf girl to show you how. Then you will know when your true self will be revealed. The changes you have made will in time seem so entirely natural, and those who are no longer meant to be in your life will depart. Do not worry, just keep on becoming, and be, for now, in the best company of all, your own. Okay? Now, this is not forever, remember, but you do need to retreat a little bit, and the moon does represent that intuition. Excuse me. Give me a second. Wow, there's a throat tickle. You might need to be working on cleansing out some chakras, especially if you just had your energy just, shooken up a bit, right? Obviously, there's some issue with communication, too. Okay? Perhaps there was drama or gossip or something, right, that was clouding the judgment of others and making things difficult. But I'm really focused on both of those moons, okay? So it may be also a good time, too, to tap in and really connect with your authentic self, your higher self at this time, and really kind of follow your higher self's guidance as to where you need to be going right now, and kind of follow that light, okay? All right, so hopefully that helps. Have a good one, all right? Bye. All right, pile C. Let's see what healing in the shadows is needed for you, okay? Let's see, we have, from the past life oracle, you have farm. Okay, that could mean a few things. Wisdom, which also includes discernment and intuition. And vows. This could mean a few things too. All right. I'm getting the sense that maybe there was some sort of communal setting, like a group setting, maybe like a family or just like, a social group, right? Where promises had been made or not kept or something along those lines. And it's actually an opportunity to learn through it, grow from it, and see sort of what your higher self wants you to learn through this situation. It may not be as obvious. Farms are pretty vast, right? Some are, they grow, produce, and some actually nurture animals, right? We've got a lot of acreage to cover, so there may be a lot of different little things that you're going to be gaining through whatever you're experiencing at the moment, okay? Your biggest vow, I'm also seeing sort of like your spiritual soul contract in this card as well. And I know the glare is not really helpful with this holograph, right? But with the unicorn, unicorns are all about intuition. And it's pointing directly at the farm and away from the vows, right? So maybe it's time to renegotiate some sort of agreements, right? And really focus on what you can learn from the land, right? Especially anything domestic, okay? It could be rural, you could take it literally as rural, but I see it just domestic, right? Farms aren't something that naturally pop up in nature. Mankind usually has to influence it, right? So it could be something that you're dealing with surrounding that kind of situation, okay? You have conjunction. Empowerment activates, intensifies, joining forces, focus, concentration, strengthens, prominence, and authorizes. Hopefully you could see all that. Now, this could also be, making, an agreement with others, right? Like sort of coming together with others, for that joining forces. And maybe it's working a lot of things together, right? To grow through, okay? You'll know what this is. There's some kind of wisdom you're going to be gaining through it. So take this how it resonates, all right? Now, there may be some sort of need for a chain of commands with that authorizes. There may be somebody in charge. This could be a work situation too. Farms typically operate so that they can, support themselves, right? Let's see what else I can see here. And it could be a culmination coming together. You also have your life story hasn't unfolded yet. So that tells me there's probably still some more to learn and grow through, okay? I can't get this thing to stand up. It keeps wanting to fall forward, okay. And there may be some conflict with that, right? Like there's always going to be a disagreement. There's always going to be challenging things in terms of organizing what needs to be done too. But this is a perfect opportunity to kind of learn some strength, right? As well as focus and concentrate and kind of see through things transparently as well. I'm definitely getting a sense of that. Kind of tapping into your, spiritual intellect, so to speak. I know that's not exactly the right word, but it's something along those lines, right? There may be something that your higher self wants you to learn at this next stage of things, okay? Because your life story hasn't unfolded yet. Maybe it will lead you to your purpose, right? It'll give you like one more puzzle piece to play with, or a few, right? Although I would imagine if it's a farm, or a farm, kind of environment, or something that is as diversified as a farm and as vast as a farm, right? Like that could be considered something where things are being grown and ideas being grown, right? Things become fertile. It could be quite a few puzzle pieces. And it may be that you just need to join forces with others in order to plant some seeds, get some ideas, work some angles, and then when it's time for harvest, you can harvest, right? From the shapeshifters, let's see what's in the shadows here for sure. Getting a sense that it could be very layered, okay? You have card number 35, which breaks down to an 8. You are unlike anyone else. Your contradictions and complexities are interesting. About this card, as caterpillars undergo metamorphosis, they turn to sort of a mush inside their cocoons. So too, in your life, everything seems to have lost direction and feels quite meaningless. But you will regroup, reform, and transform. A new world speaks of the necessary process you must undergo in order to create an important change. Now I can really kind of see where this is headed, especially with the caterpillar analogy. Typically, caterpillars need to kind of get their initial stages hanging out together, right? They usually, as they get bigger and bigger, stage ones are pretty small and tiny. Stage twos, stage threes, same. It's only until they hit stage 5 where they realize they kind of have to abandon home to protect the rest of the caterpillars that are there. It's a natural defense mechanism. They don't want to attract the attention of birds because they're all big and fat and colorful, right? They're pretty noticeable. So they'll experience wanderlust before they go off and cocoon, okay? And I know this just because I was raising monarchs, and I noticed a difference between different species as well. The species that had limited defense mechanisms, right, would often wanderlust, okay? Now, species like swallowtails, they're naturally built to handle predators. I mean, they'll emit a smell that, kind of shoos away birds. When they go and cocoon up, their cocoons match the bark that they just land on, so they typically don't go more than a few inches from where they started. However, with monarchs, they will travel far. I've had to chase down those suckers across the yard every year just to not accidentally step on them, okay? We want them to turn into monarchs. Monarchs are becoming very endangered over where I'm at, okay? So they'll often wanderlust just to protect the rest of the group of caterpillars on their plants. And they also only like certain types of plants, so they're pretty picky. They're really not built for survival unless they're blessed with a location of tons of milkweed everywhere. You know what I mean? So, and milkweed's really hard to grow here, and not everybody does it. So, when I do it, I have to get a bunch. But they will typically escape, okay? They'll go off and have their wanderlust to find a safe place to go cocoon up. And when they do cocoon up, their cocoons are really noticeable. They start out like bright green and they have like gold flecks on them, and it's pretty obvious what they are, right? So they really have to go hide. And then they're in those things for weeks longer than most butterflies. Swallowtails typically come out within a week. Monarchs take a good month before they hatch, okay? It really just depends on the weather. They're very particular. So they do need to find a safe spot, right? And that's what makes them unlike anyone else for sure. And I'm just seeing how there are a lot of monarchs on this card. Yellow ones, orange ones, even a rainbow colored one, although I think the other three aren't. But you also have the frog with the monarch wings. Okay, so that just gives you an idea what you might need to be doing, okay? A new world speaks of the necessary process you must undergo in order to create an important change. Developing new true friendships, repairing a damaged relationship, working on your skills in an area that does not come easy to you, making difficult choices about your integrity, all are addressed by the beings in this card, as they too have undergone the challenge of change. You'll notice that on the card there are beings who are hybrid, the butterfly frogs, who are at once not quite one thing or another. This is how your changes can seem to others sometimes. Which are you, they may ask? This or that? Many in life will want you to fit nicely into a category so they can easily label you and not undergo the difficult task of truly knowing who you are. You do not have to choose between things. Humans are often contradictory. Simply be true to you. Be a frog with wings. Be all of who you are and experiment. Let others be puzzled. You have options, right? That farm has a lot going on, all right? You have the courage to defy boxes, labels, and other easy ways of avoiding truly knowing people and the world. There is no one like you. This is the universe's only chance to have you in this world. Being your own self is not always easy. You have gone through a very difficult time, but you have passed the test and been reborn. You have done well to keep going, and now you can begin to see how worthwhile all the changes and sacrifices were. Although it seems you were in an endless middle ground where you had no outcome and only repetitive tasks, judgment, and criticism for your choices, a new time begins now. And perhaps that's what the vows card could be about, right? The old paradigms, the old relationships might be like, wait, what is going on here? What happened to this person? They're different. I don't like it. Right? So you could actually just be going through a spiritual awakening right now and realizing that things aren't always as they seem to be because you're now seeing it from a new lens, right? I know it's very difficult to realize things. I thought I had a lot of open-minded friends, but me going through a spiritual awakening really showcased not so much, right? Immediately I was being avoided. Nobody wanted to talk weird woo-woo stuff with me. They all thought they got it on lockdown. And I had witches as friends, right? Like, and they're just like, wait, what is going on? I'm sitting there going, you're doing exactly what I'm doing. I mean, it's just in a different flavor, you know? But it's really no different. You're all tapping into your stuff and learning to manifest and do all these things, you know? What's the difference, really? I mean, granted, it's just a different way of doing things, but it's something they're just not familiar with, right? Because they got so accustomed to one particular way, right? That they couldn't fathom that there were all these other ways that are very similar. They just look different. They are packaged differently. They have different cultural adaptations to them, right? And that's kind of the beauty of having an awakening, is you get to discover your own combination of woo-woo, right? So I blend, and I love blending because I also tap into, my personal heritage as well as anything I learned from a past life too, right? I'm naturally inclined. It's a gift given to me by birthright. I got to figure out how to use it, right? So you may be in the process of trying to figure all that out right now, and you're just kind of noticing what used to be in your life might be falling away, or having a real hard time just being open-minded about it, right? Okay. You have done well to keep going, and now you can begin to see how worthwhile all the changes and sacrifices were. Although it seemed you were in an endless middle ground where you had no outcome and only repetitive tasks, judgment, and criticism for your choices, a new time begins now. You have successfully reinvented yourself by doing what is not always easy. There will be more enjoyment and fulfillment and less to worry about, and some things that once were difficult will now be simple for you. There will be exciting new people for you to meet. Oh, yes, definitely. I can attest to that. You guys, for example, and some of your old friends will come on this journey of change with you, but don't bank on it. Okay? You worried, didn't you, about whether this time of goodness and hope would come? Well, have no doubt it is here. Okay, well, I can say that at least one friend, not friend, it's actually a family member. Hi, Mom. If you pick this pile high, that actually surprises me because I know how we all kind of grew up and the generations and all the struggles with social matters and stuff and really having to be very patient with a lot of things. So I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, and not so much, actually, much at all, because, I know how my mom's very blended spiritually too, so I think that's great, that, okay, my woo woo isn't that weird to her. She finds it fascinating. And here she is just chomping at whatever words I say on the channel. And I'm like, I'm just trying to piece it all together for everyone else, right? So you'll be surprised who comes and who, and stays with you through the process and who goes. I would have never expected who has stayed, right? I'm always impressed with like, wait, you listen to my channel? What? All right, let's do this. And I'm like, man, all right, that breaks my expectations and labeling of thing too. I must have had that as the old paradigm as well. So, well, have no doubt it is here, says unlike anyone else speaks, all right? Your decisions are being challenged. This is the divinatory meaning. There is confusion concerning who you are. People who have been close to you may draw away or feel betrayed and confused at this time because they no longer know who you are, they say. This is a time for making choices that may seem to be odd to others, but which assist you in becoming the unique being that you are, your true authentic self, right? And of course, you're going to be having to traverse a farm for it, okay? There's probably tons of opportunity, okay? Leave no stone unturned. Refuse to be labeled and create your own style, look, approach, and identity, even if it does not seem popular at first. Mash concepts and come up with approaches that are innovative and exciting. Stick to your truth and go through the challenging times in order to reach a place where you are accepted and loved for who you are. If this card reaches out to you while you are feeling extremely alone, take heart. All will be worth the darker times. You have the light of your own truth on your side, and all who see it will come to know you truly and love you for all your contradictions. You are inventing the future, not only for you, but for all those like you, who are definitely not necessarily exact matchy-matchy, but understand and truly get it, okay? They might be going through some weird contradictions themselves, and seeing you go through it may be inspirational, okay? And you might be in a position to be teaching them too, okay? Don't give up just before the miracle of change blooms in your life. You're about to become a butterfly, or a frog with butterfly wings, in this case, all right? There you go. Have a good one. Bye.